Hey guys, welcome back to Latin Chopsticks. I want to welcome you to round 2 of the anime themed restaurants. So today we're going to be going to an anime restaurant that is actually a noodle bar, and they serve ramen and different noodles. I also heard that they have some curry and a few different appetizers that we're going to try. And I'm really excited because it is based off of Naruto, which is pretty cool. It's one of the big 3 in my opinion. Animes, even though there's a whole bunch of new ones, but those are one of the classic 3 big animes that people, when they were younger would watch. With that said, I'm very excited. I've heard really good things about it, and I believe they actually sell the Ichiraku Ramen, which is the most popular ramen dish, and I believe that's the name of the restaurant or the ramen shop that Naruto goes to when he's a kid all the time, even in all the different series, in all the different seasons and things like that. So it's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited that we finally get to taste that. And let's see what other dishes they have. All of their dishes are named after different Naruto things. So, they have the Ichiraku Ramen. You have the BBQ Pork Hinata buns, which I definitely want to try that. I believe they have a freaking donut that they sell called the Akatsu cream. So we'll check that out as well. We'll try some of their curry to see how good it is. And I've heard so many good things that I'm going to try to compare this to the actual ramen and dishes that we've had in Japan. Because the things I've read about this place, a lot of people are saying that it's one of the best ramen dishes they've ever had. Not just in Orlando, but just in general, which is impressive. Especially considering that you would never really think that on an anime-based, themed restaurant or noodle bar. So I'm pretty excited for that. So we're about to head out. It is disgusting outside. It is raining because the storm's really close by. So I feel like once we get there, we get inside nice and cozy, surrounded by different, decorations of Naruto or something like that. We'll definitely take a look at that. Maybe feel a little bit relaxed while the storm passes and have some nice different dishes. So let's go ahead and get there, guys. Finally here. We finally made it and we're inside. It took an hour and 45 minutes for us to get seated. I think it's because we ended up choosing a weekend where they're doing MegaCon here. So because of that, this whole week, this place has been absolutely packed. Usually there's always a wait, according to the young lady. The hostess was saying that it's normally 30 to 40 minutes, but yeah, it was an hour and 45. We were just hanging out in the car for quite a while. With that said, I'm really excited because there's a bunch of different meals here, and I'm really, really happy that we got to come because we're going to have the main ramen from the series called Ichiraku Ramen, and it looks amazing in the pictures. It looks just like the anime, and we're going to actually be able to taste it and try and see why Naruto has that obsession. On top of that, they also are selling curry here. So we got something called the healing curry. She said they have 3 different strengths of the flavoring of curry. They have a very light gray curry, which is very light on the curry flavor. They have the healing curry, which is the normal, and then they have a red curry, which she just described. It's insane. On top of that, we ended up getting gyoza, which are dumplings, like I always said. We always try to get dumplings. We want to compare them with the other place that we went to. And we also got a really cool dessert that I can't wait to show you guys once we get it. So right now we're just going to be sitting around. We're going to wait. This place is extremely packed, but as you guys saw, it's a really nice place. It's decorated with different things, different animes. It is Naruto oriented, but I don't know if you guys can see behind me is actually the swing from the Naruto series from when he was a kid that he used to swing at while everybody else was playing. So that's it's a cool aesthetic that they're adding to the noodle bar. So, but With that said, let's go ahead and wait for the food, and once it gets here, we gotta get started. All right, guys, so we finally got the first dish. This is the Ichiraku Ramen, which is their most popular dish here in this location because it's the one that's exactly from the show. It's a recreation of Naruto's favorite dish, which is awesome. All right, guys, and if you can look, this looks absolutely delicious. It looks exactly like it is in the anime. You have some really nice seasoned hard-boiled egg. Actually, they're soft-boiled. Oh, that looks amazing. But you can tell they're seasoned because of the color that they have. You have this really crispy pork belly that can tell that it's been braised. Here is you're gonna have Naruto, which is fish cake, which is absolutely delicious. And here you have some bamboo shoots, some green onions, and you have the nori leaves, basically the seaweed that you get to eat with this that adds that little umami flavor and saltiness. The broth itself is actually looking quite emulsified with the pork because the broth here, it is pork as well as miso flavored. So this is gonna be a very rich broth. Oh man, I can't wait to dig into this. All right guys, first things first, we gotta try this hard-boiled egg, man. This looks absolutely amazing. It's creamy. Oh my God, as soon as I touch my tongue, that soy sauce flavor, the saltiness, and then the creaminess from the soft yolk just completely coated my entire tongue. If you look here, the inside of the yolk is really soft and runny. Oh my goodness gracious. For that, if you look at the noodles, have that stringy consistency that I really enjoy. So you could tell that these are going to be nice and full of flavor, and then you could even see the reflection of the broth itself. It's going to add that extra layer. That is a thick piece of pork belly in my opinion. And then you have the Naruto fish cakes. I wonder how this is going to taste. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and try the fish cake. It's really good. It almost tastes like imitation crab meat. Oh my God. Usually I don't like these because it has too strong of a seafood like fish taste, but this one, it tastes like I'm eating crab, so that's fantastic. And those are the actual Narutos. Let's go ahead and try this broth. Oh wow. You taste the miso, but it's very slight. And then you taste the fatty and the emulsifying of the pork that I mentioned before. It's very apparent that this is pork broth. The bamboo shoots are also really well seasoned, full of flavor, but they still have that crunch despite it being in this really hot bowl of ramen. So it's really nice. Adding that texture. I don't know if the mic caught it, but oh my God. And then the most important part, the noodles. We're gonna go ahead and try them out, and then we're gonna try the pork belly. Oh my goodness. Perfectly cooked, al dente, full of flavor. You can tell that they're made fresh, they're made in-house, I asked. Oh my gosh. You get that stringiness and that kind of same thing, elasticity when you bite it, so you know they're freshly made noodles. And they're perfectly coated with the actual flavor of the broth. But the one thing I'm most interested in is this pork belly. As I showed you guys, this is really well cooked. The middle is just fat, but you can see it glistening, and this is the fat. It hasn't even been dipped into the broth quite yet. This is just the fat and the flavor. So the outside layer is fat, then it's been charred. The inside layer is fat as well, but then everything, all this in between is the meat itself. But I have a feeling this is gonna be really good because whenever I see those little marks of burnt right here, oh, that means the flavor is going to be really good in this. Let's go ahead and try it out. It is the perfect balance. That fattiness in there, it adds juice to the bite. It's also seeping into the broth, giving it that extra flavor as well. But the most important thing and the most amazing part about it is those charred pieces on the outside, because you get that kind of like, as I've said before, that grilled like taste, that burnt part taste. Is just, it elevates it completely. It makes it something else besides just pork belly. Oh my gosh. Next time I'm gonna try to see if they can add more of that, because I would love to get more than those 2 pieces, man. I'd order like 2 extra things of it, man. Oh my gosh. All right, the next bowl that we have here is really interesting because I've never seen this bowl anywhere before, and it was the barbecue pork ramen. So the barbecue pork ramen is literally pulled pork. You have the broth that is also, apparently it's barbecue pork broth, so we'll try that, see how it differs from the Ichiraku. We have nice grilled corn here. You can tell it's right off the cob. It's not canned or any of that. You have here some green onions. We always gotta have that crunch, and it looks like spinach as well. So it actually, the way this looks and the top, it reminds me a lot of what a tortilla, a Mexican tortilla soup would look like without the tortilla. But I wonder if the taste anywhere is good. Look at that. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, so first things first, we gotta try the protein. Always try the protein. Wow. So the pork is sweet. It's really sweet. Wow, oh my God. You guys, I don't know if you guys remember, when I was in school, we used to have something called Sloppy Joes. And it just, obviously it's a different consistency since it's shredded pork, but the taste is very similar to that sweetness taste. Because you get the pork flavor immediately after, coming in like a freaking 1,000-pound brick. You get the sweetness, but then it quickly sways and goes back to that pork flavor. So you have like 3 different layers of taste just putting that. Let's go ahead and try. Same thing, the ramen just looks really good. You get that flavor. The ramen itself is completely coated with the sauce, or whatever, yeah, with the sauce that's coming from the pork itself. You have those pieces of green onion. It adds that little crunch and freshness because the pork is really rich, making the broth really rich, making the noodles really rich. So having the balance of the green onions and the spinach and the corn really helps kind of cut through that a little bit because it's a very rich bowl of ramen. I want to try the broth here. I want to see, because the color of the broth is different than what we were eating before. As you can see, the broth is a lot less emulsified, but it still is very dark. You can see the flavors just glistening, the little bits of fat from the pork just being right up there. Oh my goodness, let's go ahead and try this. It has the same flavor as the pork itself, so it is a very sweet broth. A little too sweet in my opinion for my liking. But when you mix it together with the other things that are in the bowl, the other toppings, it helps balance it out just a bit. I think one thing I would do is maybe add some of that pork belly to see if the saltiness from that can seep into it and kind of tone down the sweetness just a bit. But it's still a delicious, delicious dish to have. Now, another thing I'm excited for is this next dish. So they also have curry here. So it's not just it's a noodle bar, but it's not just ramen. So you have 3 different options of the curry that I mentioned before. Now we did get the middle one. I did choose to have it spicy. So it looks like up here they added red pepper flakes to make it a little bit, I really want to have it mild. I like my curry a little bit spicy. I'm not too crazy about spice, but once again, you have the pulled pork here, and then right here you have the rice, you have potatoes, it's nice and thick, you have carrots, you have onions, and then you have some to balance it out. But let's go ahead and get a little bit here. And we're gonna go ahead and try this. This looks really good, man. It's really fragrant. Let's go ahead and try this out. Oh my gosh. That spice that hits, it hits right after. Wow, oh my goodness. Yeah, no, this is really, really good, man. You taste the curry, but because I got the middle option, it's not overpowering. It's just enough for you to enjoy that curry flavor. I could tell I'm biting into the seeds of the red pepper, so it's bringing that sting right after. It's quite strong, but it's not overwhelming, so it's really enjoyable. The potatoes are cooked perfectly. They basically melt in my mouth. As soon as I like slowly start eating, it turns into mashed potatoes as soon as it hits my tongue. And then you have the rice. It's nice. It's really well cooked. It's dry, so it's not getting all mushy with the sauce. So you can put it together, and it's able to stick together, so you can get actual meaningful bites out of it. Overall, this is really, really good curry, because one thing that happened to me and Julie when we went to Japan is the curry over there was really, really strong. So I liked the dishes, but the curry flavor was just overwhelming, and I feel like it pulled away, at least the places we went to, it pulled away from the other flavors in the dish. So like, you could barely taste the potatoes, you could barely taste the carrots, you could barely taste like even the protein that's in there. But this one, it's all mixed together, so it's not your typical katsu. So it's all mixed, and you have the shredded aspect of it, but man, you know, it honestly goes really well together, because you can taste the potatoes, you can individually taste the carrots, you could taste the chicken, or I'm sorry, the pork, you could taste everything. And then the rice being so, look at this, I'm picking chopsticks sticking together, but it's not mushy, it's a really good consistency. The last thing I want to show you guys is this right here. So these are the dumplings. Before I even say anything, you guys have to see this up close. These are their dumplings. Now look at how cool this is. There's no other way for me to put it. They go ahead and they got their dumplings, and they shaped them like ninja stars, like shuriken from the series. I just find that so cool. It adds that extra level of like, oh my gosh, it's just really immersive. It's really, man, I want to know how to fold them like this. I would love it. Now, the only thing I'm seeing though is that the stuffed part is this square right here. So now I'm wondering, is it stuffed enough? I mean, it is really cool, but we're here to eat. Let's go ahead and have them. I believe these are pork, but we'll go ahead and try them out and see. But you can tell they're nice and juicy. You have that crispy layer on the outside, and you have that crispy bottom as well. Oh my god. Once again, that char just adds so much flavor to this. It's like a smoky piece of dumpling that I've never had like this before, at least not, oh my gosh. It's like almost on the verge of being burnt, but it's like right below that layer. The only thing I'm concerned about is that on the inside, it doesn't seem to be too filling, so it's very light in the way they stuff these. I'm guessing it's because of the design that they do. If they put any more in it, it'll either, well actually, it'll most likely just fall apart. The way they have it is perfectly made. That way it sticks together, it keeps its shape, and it's still like a cool and pleasing thing to see when you know you're in a Naruto-based restaurant and you get to see these ninja stars and you get to eat them. But if you look at the inside, see, it's very lightly filled. But I'm telling you guys, the flavor's still there, and it's still really, really, really good. The little blades on the outside are crunchy. So you get the soft and meatiness in the middle, the juice from it. You get the charred pieces on the outside as well as the crunch. So you're having quite a different bit of textures as well in your mouth. So far, these are, I got to say, this is like the closest type of food that I've had in Japan to taste like the food in Japan. I'm really surprised. Definitely gonna coming here again. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and then we'll go ahead and show you once we get to that special dessert I was talking to you guys about. Once that comes out, I'll go ahead and show you guys, because the idea behind it, it's a very simple thing, but just the idea behind it is really cool. All right, guys, we finally got the dessert. So this is the dessert I was talking about. This right here. Now what this is called an Akatsu cream. It is basically it's a dessert based on the anime's villain group. So it's really cool. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. And it's basically an ice cream filled donut. So let's go ahead and show you guys. So it's basically an ice cream filled donut. It is actually really nice and warm, so I don't know if it's freshly made, but it's completely filled with chocolate ice cream. It is a little dense based on what I feel, but I'm guessing it has to be in order for it to maintain its shape and keep it together for the ice cream. The ice cream is melting, but this is cool because this is an idea that a friend of mine used to have back in high school, and this is the first time I'm seeing it in person. I'm sure it's been around for a while now, but oh man, this is gonna hit really nice after eating that spicy curry. That curry I had was extremely spicy, so let's go ahead and taste this. It's really nice here too because they're playing different music, but most of the music that they're playing is from different, basically introductions of Naruto, of like the different seasons that they had. So it's funny like eating this and then hearing that. It really brings back memories from when I was younger. But let's go ahead and have a piece of this. So I was extremely wrong. It feels dense like the outside, but the inside is nice and soft, like basically a glazed donut. It has that glazed donut taste to it. The inside, the ice cream is melting, but it's still firm enough to keep from completely spilling out when I bit into it. But having that mixture of the dark chocolate that's inside with the sweetness of the outside of that glaze, it has the taste of the glazed donut with no glaze. So it like cuts into each other. Basically, it cuts the sweetness with the dark chocolate ice cream that's inside, and it really cools me from the freaking spicy curry. And the crazy part is, they have another level of curry called death curry, and she said it's like blood red when you get it. So I love spicy food, but I'm not that into the spiciness. So if any guys ever visit, make a video or something and show me, send it to me, because I would love to see that. That is freaking cool. I wish I could eat spicy food like that, but I haven't been able to do that in like, what, 8 years or something like that. Overall, guys, this restaurant is really unique. It's definitely different, and I dare say, as I mentioned before, this is the closest that I've gotten from having those foods taste very, very similar to the ones in Japan. So I'm really, honestly, I'm really surprised about this place because, you know, it's basically all the places around it are pretty much like, you know, you have like I think a pool store and things like that. So it's just a real hole in the wall. Decorations throughout the restaurant look absolutely amazing. You have like a monster noodle bowl, and then as well as if you go a little bit further into the back of the restaurant, you have a whole bunch of different drawings from different animes, from a whole bunch of different cartoons, or you have a whole bunch of different characters from different animes drawn on the wall, and I find that really cool. Behind me, as you guys have been seeing in the video, people keep walking back and forth, is because, as I mentioned before, Naruto swings, so it kind of brings it in, and then right now, I don't think you'll be able to hear it on the video, but right now, there is, I think it's like one of the latest intro opening songs that they have for Naruto, so it brings it all together, knowing that you're eating the same bowl of ramen that Naruto ate in the series. You have all these different foods that are named after different Naruto characters. It's really definitely a place that you guys want to come and visit, because not only is the food absolutely delicious and the closest that me and my wife have had since being in Japan, but it's just a brand new experience. It's something different out of the ordinary that you don't see everywhere. Guys, thank you so much for following. Thank you so much for subscribing, watching the videos. Thank you for the comments that you guys are doing and the likes that I'm getting on the videos. Really appreciate it. Guys, if you like the places we're going to, or you have any ideas, comment, like the video, keep on subscribing. Really appreciate it. And those that return to watch videos every Sunday, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. If you guys have any suggestions or anything like that, please, please, please comment it in the section down below. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this donut with my wife. And until then, let's keep on eating.